Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to be talking about my makeup inventory or how much makeup I own. I'm going to be going in the order sort of how I do my makeup, but this is really just how I have it listed on my notes, so let's get right into it. So for each category, I'm going to be talking about my current number, where I would like to be for the end of the year, and then also kind of my overall goals, like even if I'm not there by the end of the year, this is really where I want to be ideally in my collection. So first, starting off with brows, I currently have 4 brow products. My overall goal is 2, and I think it's pretty realistic to get down to 2 during 2020, so I think that's pretty achievable. For eye primer, I only have 1 eye primer, and I'm totally fine with just sticking with 1 eye primer going forward. For eyeshadow palettes, I currently have 7. So for my 2020 goal, I don't necessarily know that I'll be getting rid of any palettes or like finishing any palettes up. I may potentially get rid of 1, but I kind of just want to focus on panning my eyeshadows this year. So I don't really have a number for my 2020 goal. I guess I'll have to just see where it goes. But for my overall goal, this is extremely ambitious, but I really just want to make sure I'm not buying any eyeshadow. I want to have 75% of pans in my eyeshadow collection before I move on to another eyeshadow palette. So, of course, down the road this could change, but I really want to focus on, for the next couple years, just like using my eyeshadow and really like hitting pan and showing, like making them look loved. So we'll see how this goal changes throughout the year or the next couple years, but at the current time, I don't really have a goal. I'm just trying to work through them all. As for single shadows, this is really like any eyeshadow I have that's not in an eyeshadow palette. So like either singles or like cream shadows, ColourPop, Super Shock shadows, those types of things. Currently I have 7. By the end of the year, I would like to get down to 6 of these products. And then overall, I would only like to have 3 in my collection at one time. Next is eyeliners. This includes pencil liners, pen liners, potted liners, any type of eyeliners. I only have 2 currently. I'm okay with having 1 to 2. I'm okay with having like a pencil and a pen type of liner. So I'm okay with where I'm at and I'm comfortable with that going forward. For mascara, I currently have 2. I just have an open one and then 1 on backup. I'm totally fine with that. I would ideally like to have 1 and then just purchase 1 as it gets closer to me needing a backup, but I'm totally okay even with having like a waterproof black mascara option and then a brown type of mascara, and then just having them both open at the same time. That's totally fine with me, so I feel pretty comfortable with this category. Next is primer. Currently I have 4 going in my collection. I would like to get this down to 2 primers by the end of the year and then just have 2 primers going forward. I am pretty much done with one of the primers. I have a little bit left. It's in my project pan. And then one of them is a sample, one of them's a mini. I think this should be pretty easy to do, but I guess we'll see. For foundation, currently I have 8 foundations. I would like to get this down to 4 by the end of the year, and then my overall goal is to only have 3 foundations in my collection at one time. Right now I have a lot of minis, so I feel like the number 8 isn't super crazy because about half are minis and will go pretty quickly. So in the future, if I do have sample foundations, I am more comfortable with having a higher number, but I would like to have it in that 3 to 4 type of range. For concealer, currently I have 1, and this is actually the only category where I'm contemplating or would be okay with increasing actually. So by the end of the year, I'm totally comfortable having 1 or 2. So I'm okay with either having, like a light shade and a dark shade, or maybe like a color corrector and a medium type of concealer I can use year round. So this, by the end of the year or even going forward, may be a category that increases, but I guess we'll just see. I don't want to just buy one because I think it'd be nice to have a light one and a dark one. I'll just kind of see how I get along with my skin tone and how my current one's working. and then just go from there. So my powder category, this includes pressed powders and loose powders. Currently I have 8, and majority of them are loose powders, which is harder for me to use up than a pressed powder for some reason. By the end of the year, I'd like to only have 6, and I don't know that I'll necessarily be able to use up 2 loose powders, so this may be moving out 1 pressed powder and 1 loose powder, but I definitely want to work on the loose powder section more than the pressed. But overall, I'd like to only have 3 in this category, so I think that's going to be kind of a long-term project that I'm working on. As for bronzer, currently I have 6 in my collection. By the end of the year, I'm hoping to only have 5, but overall my goal is to only have 3 at one time. And then for blush, currently I have 8 in my collection, which is kind of high. By the end of the year, I'm hoping to have 6, which means, yes, I would have to either use up 2 or somehow declutter 2 blushes and not bring any in. Kind of a lofty goal, but we'll see what happens. Blush is pretty hard to use, but we'll see, I guess. Same in this category. I would only like to have 3 in as my like overall number going forward number, but that's definitely again going to be a long-term goal because blush is very hard to use up. And then for highlights, I currently have 10 highlights in my collection, which that's a pretty high number for me considering I'm not as into highlight as I once was. I honestly am not even wearing highlight today. I'm not even wearing bronzer today, only blush. So this is a really high number for me at the current time because I'm just not as into it as I was before. But hopefully by the end of the year I can get this number down to 7. I do have some highlights that I think I can finish up and actually roll out of my collection this year. I don't think ending with 7 is like a too far off goal. But overall I would like to only have 3 in my collection. My spray category, this is really just like facial mist and sprays. Typically it's what I use after I finish my makeup, like a setting spray. They're not all really setting sprays, but I just group them all together. Currently I have 4. By the end of the year I would like to have 3, and then I would just like to maintain the number 3 going forward. I don't think I need more than that. I think 3 is plenty, especially if they're all going at one time. But I do like to throw it in my bag and then, you know, possibly have one that's more makeup setting and then one that's more like refreshing. So 3 is kind of where I'm comfortable with right now. For lip liner, currently I have 7. That is a ton of lip liner in my opinion, considering I don't really wear lip liner a ton. I'm hoping by the end of the year I can only have 5. Lip liner is pretty hard for me to use up. Like I said, I have used it in past projects and it's been a struggle, but I am really motivated this year to kick some butt and get some makeup moved out of my stash. But yeah, hopefully I can get it down to 5, and then same as most of my categories, I'm ideally wanting to get down to only 3, but that might take a while for me. Also, a lot of my lip liners are very old, so it could be where I run into the problem that a lot of them are just dried up and don't work anymore. In that case, I may end up decluttering some or using them, you know, until I can get their full capacity out of them, and then just go forward and buy the ones I feel I need, like a red versus 5 nudes, 6 nudes. I think I literally have 6 nudes and a red. I'll try and insert a picture if I haven't already, but yeah, that's out of hand. For lipstick, this is like just regular bullet lipstick. I currently have 6. I would like to get this category down to 5 by the end of the year and then just stick with 5. I think that's a good number for me, and I know the type of lipstick I like to buy going forward and, you know, kind of what I own right now, so I don't feel like 5 is overwhelming if I have 5 that I really love and love to rotate through. So I feel pretty comfortable with that, and I think that's pretty achievable. For lip gloss, I currently have 7. I would like to get this down to 5 by the end of the year, and then I would like to just maintain 5 going forward. Same with the lipsticks. I know what kind of glosses I like, and I would like to try more glosses because I've definitely been getting into gloss, but I definitely need to be careful to not fall into the hype of some glosses that I know I hate the formula of, like super sticky ones or super pigmented ones. I really need to be conscious of going in store and swatching it and like really reviewing the gloss before I just impulse buy it. on without like seeing it in person, like on an app or online or whatever. So definitely something I know about myself and about glosses, but I feel totally comfortable with having 5, and I think I should be able to get there this year. And then finally for liquid lipstick, I have 2. I was contemplating, just once I get done with my liquid lipsticks, not buying anymore because I rarely do use them, but I did decide that I would be okay with having a red, and I mean, if I can get it in a mini, that's even a bonus because I know I'm not going to use a ton of it, and then possibly a nude shade. I was honestly considering like just never buying them again, but I did wear one recently and they do really just last, and I do have a few formulas I know that I can work with. They're not completely awful. So I think if I can just stick to those formulas and stick to the 2 colors that I know I will actually get use out of, like a red and one nude, and not doing, you know, the deep berries or like the crazy peaches and that type of thing, I think I'll be okay with that. So that is everything for my makeup inventory today. I surprisingly have reduced my collection by a lot. I've done these twice a year, I believe, in the past, but this year I'm going to try and do these quarterly to check in how I'm coming along with using up my items, because as I mentioned in my no buy, I really want to work on moving things out of my stash this year and really reducing my inventory numbers. So I will be doing quarterly check-ins for these and updating you guys where I'm at. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope this inspires you to count what's in your stash and check out your own inventory, because it is really eye-opening and I think it is a great step and everyone should do it. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.